Help keep Kinks and Beats Daily ad-free and receive bonus content early with a contribution of 20 cents per episode. Visit herohabit.com/shop for more information. Hello, welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. This is Tony Fry, your host, and we are on episode 130. Thank you for downloading and listening. Today we're talking, this is a Kinks obscure rarity, whatever you want to call it, that I'm sure a lot of people have never heard unless you are a diehard Kinks fan. It's called Big Black Smoke, and it was released November 18th, 1966 as the B-side of Dead End Street. Now here in America, Dead End Street wasn't a huge hit. It was a moderate chart success, but it was not a huge hit. And so the B-side, I don't think is very well known here. It was a bigger hit in England, and so I assume more people on the other side of the ocean have heard this song. It was also it's often included as bonus track on Face to Face, which is an album we've covered a lot so far, and it was included on a compilation album, one of those budget compilation albums in 1967 called Sunny Afternoon, that was only available in the UK. So that's another reason that I think this song would probably be more well known in the UK than it is in America. Regardless, it's a cool tune. It was recorded October 21st, 1966 on a 4-track, but was mixed in mono. And this is kind of interesting because the sessions for this were the first to feature John Dalton as an official member of the band. But there's some dispute among the two Kinks bassists at the time over who recorded this track. So both Peter Quaife and John Dalton have said, nope, that's me playing on Big Black Smoke. But credit is typically, by the experts, is typically given to John Dalton because this is also their first 4-track session, and the masters for this recording were taken from the 4 tracks. So it stands to reason that if Quaife had not recorded on 4-track machines with the Kinks at this point, that John Dalton is kind of the only one that it could have been. And we talked about in the past that there's some back and forth with bass players, in this period of the band. Peter is unable to go on the road with the band, so John Dalton fills in, and then Quaife quits, and then doesn't quit, and then quits again. So there's like this back and forth where you have basically over the course of a year, 18 months or whatever, 2 bass players in the Kinks, right? You've got Quaife coming and going. You've got Dalton replacing him when he's gone. And it's a little bit of time before John Dalton is the permanent member of the band. So this is not the only song that features this debate over which one of them is playing on it. The song, harmonically, is pretty steady in the key of E minor, with a few alterations. For example, we have a B major chord pretty frequently. And we're basically centered in the key of E natural minor, which would mean that it should be a B minor chord. The B major chord would come from harmonic minor, but then that would change the D chords into D sharp diminished chords, and we don't have those. We've got D major chords. So he's kind of floating back and forth between harmonic and natural minor. But I don't want to dig too deep into that. It's basically just 1 4s and 5s. It's not a ton of interesting stuff chord-wise, except for the main hook of the verse is this descending chromatic movement over the E minor chord. So we've got an E minor, and the lead guitar, which is a very cool lead guitar part, if you listen real close, if you find the alternate stereo mix of it, that's got a ton of separation between the instruments, you really hear Dave's guitar playing. He puts down a really cool guitar part on this one. So we got the E minor chord, and then this little descending line that's coming off of it. So it's an E minor, and then an E minor with a D sharp on top. So that's some dissonance right there. It's a major 7. Then E minor with a D. Then E minor with a D or a C sharp. Then E minor with a C. And that's it. That it's a cool little hook though, and really makes the song unique. You know, especially of this era. She was sick and tired of country life, a little country home, made her run blood roll. Her mother pines her heart. And then you hear, after In the Big Black Smoke, you hear Dave brings back that riff several times. And that's it. It's just an E minor chord, and then we go to a B chord, and then an A minor. That's still an E minor key, and then G major to D to E minor. These are all chords that you would find in the key of E minor. It's a 3-7-1 chord progression, which is, you know, very unusual. But that's all it is. And then the bridge shifts up to B major. And that's it. But it's a cool tune, and I encourage you to go listen to it if you've never heard it before. I think it's a very underrated early Kinks tune that didn't get the love it deserved because it was just relegated as a B-side. And it opens with these cathedral bells chiming and stuff that lead me to believe that maybe it was intended to be on Face to Face, because you'll recall on Face to Face, a lot of the songs open with these sound effects, and it was all supposed to connect everything. She was sick and tired of country life, a little country home, made her blood run cold. Now her mother pines her heart away, looking for her child in the big black smoke. Frailest, purest girl the world has seen, according to her ma, according to her pa, and everybody said that she knew no sin and did no wrong till she walked the streets of the big black smoke, Well, she slept in cafes and coffee bars and bowling alleys, and every penny she had was spent on Purple Hearts and cigarettes. The Purple Hearts is a reference to a drug. I forget which one. I'm not into 60s recreational activities. She took all her pretty colored clothes, ran away from home to the boy next door for a boy named Joe, and he took the money for the rent, tried to drag her down in the big black smoke. Another uplifting, happy little ditty by Ray Davies. And I think his voice in this tune, too, sounds cool. I love the way he sang songs in this era. You know, he didn't do it much before or after, but there's a way that he sings these character portraits that I think just adds to the character of the song as much as the character he's singing about. It's cool stuff. So that's Big Black Smoke. As always, it's on the Spotify playlist, free to enjoy. And I put the mono one on the playlist, but go check out the stereo one. And like I said, dig into Dave's lead guitar playing. There's some cool stuff going on there. All right. Swing by HeroHabit.com for more information about this podcast, including how you can contribute $4 a month to keep us ad-free. And you can get look at the directory of all the songs we've covered, separated by album. And you can read other articles that we've posted about the Beatles and the Kinks, or you can join one of our discussion groups about the bands. There's all sorts of stuff for you to do there. And I encourage you to go visit. All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for downloading, and make sure you give us 5-star rating and review on iTunes if you get a chance. All right, I will talk to you soon. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes.